wish you could tap into the strategies successful business owners have used to turn their podcast into powerful marketing machines? Imagine how much easier and less lonely your journey as a CEO and podcast host would be with their insights. Welcome to Reaching Abundance. I'm Virginia Elder, your host and fellow business owner. This is the podcast where you get weekly cliff notes on developing mental fortitude and podcast marketing strategies from top business owners. Ready to level up your show? Start by booking a call with me using the link in the episode description. Let's get into the episode. Hi there, and welcome back to Reaching Abundance. I'm Virginia Elder, and I help business owners grow their reach, authority, and leads with their online content. With all your online content, and whether you've produced hundreds of episodes or maybe you're a little green in the creator space, there's one question you should be asking yourself every time you create an episode, a video, a social media post, any content. Does this piece of content support my brand and vision? In other words, is that content moving you toward or away from who you aspire to be? As this airs, it's December of 2024, and we're all focused on strategic planning for next year. The prospect of what goals we can hit and how we can hit them in the upcoming year is so exciting. But as you create that plan and map out your content calendar, don't forget to go back to your brand vision, your core values, and the long-term view of where you want to be with your business. To help you with this, today we're diving into how to craft a show that aligns with your brand and your vision. This episode will help you create a show that connects with your audience, aligns with your brand values, and ultimately drives business growth. Grab a notebook because I've got 5 sticky notes right here that are going to guide us as we map out a podcast strategy that's as unique as you are. Let's get started. Sticky note number 1, your brand's mission. Your mission is your foundation. It's your why. Every podcast episode or piece of content that you create should point back to your mission. To figure that out, take a few minutes to answer these questions. 1, what problem does your business solve? 2, why do you care about solving that problem? And 3, what do you want your audience to gain from listening to your show? For example, if you're a financial coach, your mission might be to help clients achieve financial freedom while feeling confident and empowered through their own financial education process. Your podcast should reflect that mission by educating, inspiring, and giving them actionable advice. This is where rinse and repeat messaging comes into play. Think about phrases or themes that consistently show up in your business and in your conversations. Maybe you say things like, financial freedom doesn't have to be complicated, or small steps lead to big results. In my business, I say things like, batch recording is where it's at. And yes, you should have a call to action in every episode. I say these things all the time. So what are those phrases that you find yourself repeating over and over with friends, family, potential clients, and current clients when you're talking about your area of expertise? Reinforce them in your episodes or in your content to stay on brand and build recognition. Next, sticky note number 2, define your ideal listener. Your ideal listener is also quite possibly your ideal client. Ask yourself, who do I want to serve with my podcast? What are their pain points, goals, and challenges? Where are they in their journey? Are they beginners, seasoned professionals, or somewhere in between? Your ideal listener might be a busy professional looking to streamline their finances, or a parent juggling career and health goals. Once you have a clear vision of that client or listener type for your brand, create content that speaks directly to their needs, solves the problems and hindrances that they're feeling today. For example, if your listener struggles with time, short, actionable episodes and snippets from guests will resonate more than lengthy interviews. So structure your show accordingly, as well as creating content that will help them. Which leads us right into sticky note number 3, which is all about content pillars. You have to identify what the heck you're going to talk about. I want you to uncover the recurring themes or topics that align with your brand and serve your audience. To find your content pillars, list the major areas your business focuses on. If you're a branding expert, your pillars might be brand strategy, color psychology, yes, that's a thing and it's amazing, and messaging. If you're a health coach, your pillars might be nutrition, fitness, and mindset. Your pillars should reflect your expertise and your audience's interests. Here's why. Consistency with your content builds trust. When your audience knows what to expect, they'll keep coming back. I'm going to volunteer that you're probably here because you like hearing a few tips about online content. Financial professionals and online service-based business owners who also have built a business and have a successful podcast. Reason number 2 is because focus prevents burnout. Sticking to a few key topics that you're very comfortable with ensures you won't run out of ideas or overwhelm your listeners. In fact, that's one of the questions I get most. What if I run out of things to say? You won't. You just might need someone to help you brainstorm or create a content strategy throughout the year. Sticky note number 4, align your episodes with your business goals. I think this is the one that most people miss. And this is the greatest thing I can possibly say in this episode is that your podcast should work for your business. Think about the goals you want to achieve with your business and then back into those goals with your podcast, with your structure, with your content, with your guests, with where you're posting your show. Everything you do in regards to your content should support your business's goals. For example, is a business goal of yours to increase leads? If so, you're going to create episodes that solve small problems and invite listeners to take the next step by downloading a free resource or booking a call. You're helping them take little steps at a time to fix things and solve problems in their life, and you're giving them value with free resources. You're slowly but surely nurturing them. And when you're creating useful content like that, the leads are going to come because they are attracted to those solutions. Another example, perhaps one of your business goals is to increase your authority in your particular niche. Your podcast can support that goal when you interview other experts or share case studies from your own client base. When you do both of those things, they highlight your expertise. All right, another example. Perhaps you want to expand your reach and you're looking to get in front of larger, different audiences. In this case, I'm going to suggest that you start guesting on others' shows and that you invite guests on your show at least once a month to gain exposure. The other thing I want you to do is to share episodes with your collaborators. So people who love your brand, work with you, know you, trust you already, you're going to share episodes with them and have a conversation with them about helping you tap into new audiences. So you share with them, they share with their audience, and perhaps they even know of some people that just pop into their mind who would even share your episodes to their audiences. So you can create this spider web just from your own network. One tip here, and I mentioned it earlier, is that every episode should have a clear call to action. And it doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, there's a link in this episode description to my call to action perfection worksheet. And that will really help you create a solid call to action for your content, for your show. You hear people say these phrases all the time. I swear you can do it too. You're just going to say something like, if this episode resonated with you, download my free guide. Let's take this further. Schedule a consultation using the link in the show notes. If you create your own phrasing and you implement your own inflections in your voice to make your style, make it sound like you, these call to action phrases become so simple and just part of your repertoire that you won't even notice them after a while. All right, sticky note number 5 is rinse, refine, and repeat. Growing a podcast, a YouTube channel, or any sort of online following for that matter is a process. As you create episodes, pay attention to what resonates with your audience. Which topics get the most downloads? Which calls to actions drive the most engagement? Here's how to stay on track. 1, review your mission and your values regularly. So every quarter at least. If you need to work with a coach to create your mission and your values, that's okay. Please do that rather than running aimlessly forward and not knowing what you're running toward. I want you to know where you're going and feel confident and excited about that destination and have a mission and values that will help you get there so that we can create content that supports it. That is way better than just creating content because you think you're supposed to. All right, number 2, engage with your listeners. Their feedback will tell you what's working. It will also tell you what's not working. I hope this goes without saying, but reply to their emails, answer their DMs, respond to their comments. And in some podcast apps, there are opportunities to post questions or for listeners to send you feedback. Check that out. Spotify, Castbox, and Overcast have really cool audience-focused features like this. Try to use them. All right, number 3. We talked about content pillars earlier, and some people kind of cringe at the thought of creating buckets of topics that you're allowed to talk about. It feels limiting to some people. The way to flip your mindset about content pillars is that as your business evolves, so will your content. You are allowed to change those content pillars. You're allowed to change what you prefer to talk about, especially if you find that an entire content pillar is not resonating with your audience. Pitch it to the trash. That's okay. What you do want to do is allow for growth. So if you find yourself drawn to a specific area or topic and you find that people are more likely to resonate with that type of content as well, make that shift. Don't hold yourself back from an interest, a passion, and possible growth. Reestablish what you want to talk about and why, but always go back to the main question. Does this support my business's goals? Remember, podcasting is a long-term strategy. You got to get stubborn about creating what you want and what you know will help people. And with consistent effort over time, your podcast will grow alongside your business. That's a wrap on today's episode. If you found this helpful, please share it with a fellow business owner. If you're ready to align your podcast with your brand and take your business to the next level, grab my free attraction messaging blueprint. It's a quick guide to crafting podcast intros, outros, and trailers that turn listeners into leads. The link to that is in the show notes. Thank you for tuning in to Reaching Abundance. I'll see you next time, where we will keep exploring how to grow your business with your online content. Bye for now. I'd love to hear which piece of this conversation meant the most to you today. Head to reachingabundance.com/convo. If you're ready to market your business effectively with a podcast, let's talk. Click the book a call link in the description and I'll take it from there. Thanks for listening to Reaching Abundance. I'm Virginia Elder, and I'll be back next week with another insightful episode for you. Follow me on Instagram @podcastabundance to stay connected in the meantime.